Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. You know how we're always talking about the impact of mindset and, well, today we're going to get into that.
Yeah.
But from like a really specific angle.
Interesting.
So I found this piece, someone reflecting on like their whole journey.
Okay.
And they talk about how their attitude, like whether they were thinking positive or negative,
Yeah.
how that really played a role in whether they were achieving their goals or not.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so we're going to unpack that,
Cool.
kind of see what we can learn from it and how we can apply that in our own lives, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the things that really struck me when I was reading this piece was the author talks about being in a really good place right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they directly connect that to, like, having positive attitudes.
Oh, wow.
Like throughout this whole journey,
Right.
they've hit these major milestones. And they're attributing a lot of that success to just, like, their outlook.
Their mindset.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that I thought was really interesting. They also admit that there were times where they took steps backward,
Oh.
and that those were the times when those thoughts weren't so kind.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes you wonder.
Yeah, it's like, is it even possible to be positive all the time?
Right. Like, is that even realistic?
Totally. And I think that's something we all struggle with.
Oh, for sure.
Like no one can be sunshine and rainbows 24/7, right?
Yeah.
But what I really appreciate is that the author acknowledges those moments.
Yeah.
It's like they're giving themselves permission to be human,
Yeah.
which I think is so important.
Totally.
And that's where this whole idea of self-compassion comes in, right?
Right.
It's not about beating yourself up for having those negative thoughts. It's about recognizing them,
Oh, interesting.
letting them pass, and then choosing to focus on the positive.
So it's not about, like, denial.
Right.
It's more about building that resilience.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can see how that would be so much healthier.
Ab-
Okay, so the other thing the author mentions, and I feel like this is huge EE,
Okay.
they say thoughts produce actions,
Oh, that's good.
which to me, it's like, okay, that's the link, right?
Yeah.
That's how our mindset actually translates into real world results.
Totally. And I think it's helpful to think of it as like a domino effect.
Oh, okay.
So let's say you have a big presentation coming up at work.
Mm-hmm.
If you go into that thinking, I'm going to nail this, chances are you're going to feel a lot more confident.
Right.
You'll feel prepared.
Yeah.
You're going to be more likely to actually practice,
Right.
put in the work, and then ultimately you're going to deliver a killer presentation, right?
Yeah.
But what if you go in thinking, oh, I'm going to mess this up,
Oh, I've been there.
right? You're going to be anxious. You might avoid practicing,
Yeah.
and that could lead to a less successful outcome.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It is either way.
I've definitely experienced both sides of that.
For sure.
It's crazy how much our thoughts really do shape things.
They really do.
So the author of this piece, they seem to put a lot of emphasis on positive thoughts being like far more powerful.
Okay.
So I'm curious, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a great place to start, but I think there's also some nuance there.
Oh, okay.
Optimism obviously has a ton of benefits, but you don't want to fall into the trap of what some people call toxic positivity,
Yeah.
where you're essentially ignoring or suppressing any negative emotions.
Right. Like it's not about pretending everything's perfect.
Exactly, because those negative emotions can actually be valuable too.
Oh, interesting.
They can be like a signal that something needs to change, or they can help us learn from our mistakes.
Okay.
So it's really about finding that balance,
Yeah.
acknowledging both the good and the bad,
Right.
but choosing to let the positive guide your actions.
So instead of trying to force ourselves to be happy all the time, it's more about cultivating that resilient mindset,
Exactly.
which takes work.
It does, but it's so worth it. It's all about recognizing the power of your thoughts
Yeah.
and choosing to focus on the ones that will help you move towards your goals.
It's like you're in the driver's seat.
You are.
Okay, so I want to leave you with this.
Okay.
Think about a goal you're working towards right now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What's one small shift you could make in your thinking
Oh, I like that.
that could have like a ripple effect in your actions?
Yeah.
It could be as simple as replacing I can't with I will, or maybe focusing on what you're good at instead of dwelling on your weaknesses.
Yes.
That little shift in perspective, that could be the key to unlocking some amazing progress.
I think so too.
All right, thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
See you next time.
Catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.